Hello everyone. Hi
Hello.
Rajiv. Give me 2 minutes, Rohia. We'll start. I don't have anything to specifically show today, but I will be showing a couple of things which I believe will be important. I'm just trying to transfer that from my phone. So give me 2 minutes. So
Also, Omik, I
yeah,
tried to install MySQL Server Community one,
yeah.
but yeah, I have downloaded the zip archive of that, but
Uh-huh.
it is not installing. I don't know
Is
if
it?
I'm doing it correctly or not.
Are you on your laptop right now?
Yeah, and I'm
Uh,
using the this link. Yeah, I've sent you the link, and I've downloaded the link from here.
hmm. Do you see any option in Zoom to share your screen?
Yeah, let me check. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's disabled participant screen sharing?
Is it? Okay, let me just see. Allow participants to share screen. I believe now you should be able to see that icon.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you can, okay. So
Yeah.
basically you have downloaded this one. Yeah, I got your point. So maybe if you can share your screen. Yeah, I can see it now. So this is the folder that you have unzipped, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But you are not able to do anything further.
Yeah, I'm not able to find any.
Okay, can you go
Uh,
to the bin folder and see if there
yeah,
is a MySQL D? Yes, yes, I do
yeah.
see
I
there is a
tried from
MySQL D.
MySQL. This is MySQL. This is
Uh-huh.
MySQL.
No, this is fine. This is fine. This is not an issue. Let's just try to find something else. Give me 1 minute. Uh, give me 1 minute. I'm just using your link only and searching something on Google. I'm going to
Okay.
search for this documentation of uh, give me 1 minute. Seems slow. I don't have the documentation handy, so let me just try and find it. Hmm. This is only a zip file that you can download. Which one did you download?
Yeah, I've
Uh,
downloaded the first one.
okay, okay.
Yeah, I can download the second one also if you
No, no,
want.
no, no, no. Hold on, hold on. I think we have downloaded the wrong one because this is a zip folder and it will take configurations to have that, let's say, set up. Okay, so we may have to run a lot of, let's say, Windows command line things to put all these binaries, right, that you see over here, MySQL admin and MySQL itself, MySQL D is there as well. So we will have to put these binaries into the services and all these things. So that will be a complicated thing to do, although good for, let's say, learning purpose. But
Okay.
even better option will be this one, the one that I've just pinged you. If you look at your chat window, right, it's a link that I've pinged. If you try to open that, then what? you would see is you will first of all see a drop down to select the OS. It should be by default set to Microsoft Windows, and then you will see the MSI installer. Can you see it?
I'm clicking on Zoom icon, but it is not showing me any. I'm not seeing any chat that you
Is it?
might have.
Do you
Okay,
have?
yeah, yeah. I've now got it.
Okay.
The SQL. Okay,
Okay.
I've clicked on that. Okay.
So let's say this URL you have opened in Chrome.
But
Then once,
but it is 32-bit. Yeah.
yeah,
So
that should work.
that will work. Okay, because
Yeah,
my
that
system was 64-bit. Yeah, that's why I haven't downloaded that.
that should work. I think you can take the second one and not the first one. So the
Okay.
first one is the installer web community. We don't need that. That's a kind of a very lightweight trial version thing. It's not really a trial version, but it's a very lightweight thing. So we do not need the installer web version, because ultimately web version is going to download all the things from web and then it is going to install. So rather we can choose the second one, which is kind of a complete thing. It's kind of 427 MB, so it might take some time for you to download, which is okay. But I believe that will work.
It is downloaded. Yeah. Let
Yeah,
me try on that.
yeah. So if you can just double click on the exe file and share that screen with me, then I can guide you.
Okay. Okay. Are you seeing that preparing to install icon?
Yes. I just saw it once and then it is gone. Maybe we'll wait for 1 minute.
Okay.
In Zoom, in share screen, you will get an option to share a specific window. So if you can
Okay.
run the installer, and then you will be able to share that window.
Screen sharing. Okay.
Yeah, you can select that specific window, right, which you would like to share. So that way you should be able to share.
Participants, files, share, control.
I can no longer see anything.
Okay.
For info.
Can you see now?
No. Yes, I can see now. Yes, I can see the exe file. Yes. But if you have double clicked on it and then a new window has opened, then I cannot see that new window.
It is currently saying time remaining 7 seconds, and now it is installing MySQL installer.
Okay.
Let me share with you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So now.
yes. So now in this list, first of all, you have to select full. Because we would need to or try out all the options. So if you look at the right side, you get everything. You get a SQL server, you get the shell, you get the workbench as well, you see, and you
Okay.
get the connectors. So using the connectors, the other systems will be able to connect to this DB, like your IPython notebook and so on. So click on next, and then it should check the requirements. So you have to click on execute, and it's
Okay.
going to check the requirements. If these requirements are not fulfilled, then it's going to give some kind of an error, but I'm sure these should be there. If you're using the latest, let's say some form of latest OS, these all things are there, right? So this is not an issue. This might take some time, huh? So let's wait for some time. Let's wait for 10-15 minutes. I think it will take that much of time. Yeah, so these kind of installations will be done, so no problem.
Okay. Close. Okay, now the window is gone.
Your screen sharing has also gone, by the way. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. So it's going to install all these things, right? So let's give it a minute. I think it will take some time because we
Yeah.
have downloaded
Okay.
this 500 MB thing, right? I believe these softwares are already there with it. It's not using your internet, so that's good. Let's just wait for some time.
Yeah. If I have to just click on next and next, then we can continue with the class. I think it should be installed successfully.
Yeah. Just a moment. Okay. Installation is ongoing. Yes, yes, I can see that. Yes, finish. The moment you click on finish, the screen sharing will be gone. So no problem. You don't have to share screen right now. Let's just wait for all those tools to get installed, and then we can look at the next page, right? So
Okay.
let's just wait.
It is now saying one or more product requirements have not been satisfied.
I think this should be fine because you see there is one thing which is shown as manual, which is MS SQL for Visual Studio, which is okay. We don't really need Visual Studio as an IDE. So you can continue by clicking on yes.
It is not taking yes.
Is it?
I'm clicking on yes, but it is not taking that.
Uh,
Let me try the wrong cross one, close it.
yeah.
And now next.
Next, yeah.
Yeah, but it is
Yes.
not. Yes, no,
Okay,
it is
can you
not
click
taking
on no?
yes. No, it is also not taking no.
I think
Neither
it
yes,
might
no.
be because of the screen share. Can you unshare and try once?
Shall I stop the screen sharing and then
Yeah,
try
yeah,
again?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes it so happens that because of screen sharing, some functions stop to work. I don't know why, but maybe we can give that a try. Yeah.
no, it is not taking.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
not taking
Okay.
yes on.
Okay. Let's do one thing. Let's just close the exe. You can press cancel here. Okay, you can
Okay.
press cancel here. Now you have this exe file, right, which is there on your system.
Yeah.
Can you right click on that file
Okay.
and see there is a properties option there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to the properties option, do you see a tab called, let's say, security?
Yeah. It is there.
Yeah, so if you go to that tab once, you see a list of users at the bottom of the screen inside a small window is there. Yes. So system has full control. Can you click on your name?
Yes.
And it has full control. And the next one, this also has full controls. Okay, this should be fine. So you can cancel this. And you have which OS? Windows 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then can you right click on this exe file now and run as administrator?
Okay. It is not giving me an option to run as admin. It is giving me install, repair, uninstall. Let me share my screen.
Okay. So maybe you can try with install.
This one. Install.
Hmm. Let me also try this. Although I have not installed this because I was using this this thing, right? So I have not tried to install this, but let me just see. Just a moment, I was not looking at the screen. Let me get back. Okay. The requirement is still failing. Visual Studio version 2015, 2017. Okay. I believe we have to install this software. Visual Studio version 2015. Yeah, I mean, we can download. That should not be a problem. We have to download this software, let's say separately.
Okay.
So let's try to download this. Maybe in Chrome, you can search in Google for Visual Studio version 2019.
Okay. Is it a freeware?
Yeah, it should be freeware. Yeah,
Okay.
it should be freeware. Should not be a problem.
Yeah, this community one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a moment. It was giving an error with what? My SQL for Visual Studio, right? So let me just search for my side as well. Hmm. Hmm. No, I think this is something else. I don't think we are doing the right thing. Let me just search. Installation error with for Visual Studio. Not found. Just a moment. Let this be installed. So this is not a problem that we have installed it. Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Yeah. Now, which one I have to choose for this Visual Studio Community 2019 edition?
I think it is already installing, right? No, it is not installing. Do you see MySQL in this list? If you come down. Yeah.
SQL Server.
Connect development test. Yes, you can click on that one. At least you can click on the next one as well. Python, the data science and analytical application. This will come handy later on. And can you go on top?
Okay.
This is like a lot of things it is trying to install. No. I think you can uncheck them and just click on install.
Okay, just these two things, right?
Yeah. No, you can just uncheck the ones that you have selected. And then you
Okay.
can simply click on install. I believe this should work.
Okay.
Yeah.
We want to continue without workloads.
Yeah.
Continue. Okay.
Why does it need this? Because There is one more which it is saying on the MySQL website, which is a different thing. If you have a Chrome window open,
Yeah.
can you go there and search for, give me a moment. Yeah, can you go there and search for MySQL for Visual Studio 1.2.9?
2019, right?
Yeah, no, 1.2.9.
Oh, 1.2.9.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes, so it is showing this one as well. So I'm a bit confused which one we need to install. Maybe we can click on this first option, which is MSI installer. It's kind of a 17 MB file. It will be quickly downloaded. Then you can give this a try.
Okay.
Right? You can just click on no thanks and just start my download. Yeah.
Shall I install this or shall I
Yeah,
wait
yeah.
for
Go
that?
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This is the new one, 1.2.9.
No, no.
This is next one completed.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead. And just follow the steps.
Typical custom complete.
Complete.
Okay. Oh, install. Meanwhile, the earlier one, 2019 one has installed.
Okay. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's try the MySQL installer once and see if that installer is working fine now or not.
Okay. Still not working. The requirement is still failing.
Is it right? Yeah, I think we have to install this new exe that we have downloaded.
Okay.
Yeah, let's install this. Let's see. I believe it should work.
Now the complete option is removed since it has installed previously.
Okay, so this one was done, right?
Yeah.
Okay, even after that, it is not able to find it. And that Visual Studio thing that we were doing, that is also done.
Yes, 2019 has installed successfully.
Just a moment. Can you click on no? Can you click on no and
Okay.
can you click on no and can you click on change? Do you see an option where it is showing you the directory where it is getting installed? Hmm. 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 Okay, can you click on this disk usage thing on the bottom of the screen? Okay. Okay, can you click on next?
It's finished now.
Okay. This is actually a bug which I just found out from the internet. So Visual Studio and I could not. Okay. Can you click on, let's say, go to installed? Yeah. Can you click on this modify thing? Yeah. Or we may have to run the installer once more. What it is saying is,
Can you see the screen now? These
yes,
options
yes.
of again, yeah. Okay.
Here you see this is ASP and .NET option, right? At the top. Yeah, can you select that?
Okay.
Yeah, select that and then come down, and then you see this .NET desktop development environment, something was there. You just scroll up a little bit.
Is this mobile development with
No,
.NET?
no, not this one. Just above this, there was one more option. Yeah, a .NET desktop development. See?
Okay.
Yeah, you select this and then you click on, let's say, modify.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Let's just wait for 2 minutes. Yeah, no problem.
I believe it will take time because this is in GBs.
No, this is fine. I believe this is not going to take much time.
Okay. Even if this won't install, then we still have the option to do with AWS. I
Yeah,
believe this
yes,
will
of
be
course, yes.
easy. So
Yeah.
that's why I've opted for this one.
No, I mean the advantage with Windows, right? The one that I also told you earlier, if you remember, is that on Linux you have to do everything on the command line. You don't get any GUI. You don't get to see anything. So that's the biggest issue that you might face. Or otherwise, going on to AWS, creating a new account, creating a new VM, and then installing MySQL is as simple as running 4 commands. Right? It's just like you click 4 times and your job is done. So that is the easiest step. And there we are ready by the moment you have clicked enter. Right? But if you if we are able to complete this installation right onto Windows, the advantage we get is a server as well as a workbench. And that workbench is really useful because that workbench gives you a very good IDE where you can do a lot of, let's say, development, which helps you at the beginning stages. Why? Because that IDE has a code completion features. It has the suggestion features. It has features like it's going to tell you if you are doing anything wrong with your query and so on. Are you getting my point? So that's the
Yes.
advantage of going with the Windows thing. Or otherwise, there is no problem. If you want to do on AWS, you can do that. But then you'll have to constantly open, let's say, the documentation and look for the, let's say, the errors that you have made, or maybe you have to go to Stack Overflow and things. Right. So that's kind of tedious for the first timers. People who are habituated with Linux environment, like myself, I'm already day to day working with the Linux environment. So it's quite easy for me to grasp things there. But while starting off, I believe this option is really good. So I don't think it's going to take a lot of time. You see, the download is already completed. I believe it will take just some more minutes to have this installed.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's wait.
Just check in my programs and features. Now I have Microsoft Visual 2010 and 2015 to 2019 installed. Yeah, there are basically four types of Visual C++ installed in my PC now.
Yeah.
I once had an AWS account around 2 years ago, but there was some opportunity that in my project some AWS work will be there, but it did not came. So eventually I lose interest and I did not went further into AWS.
Okay.
Even I was charged once for Elastic instances. I did not allocate the Elastic instances, and it was some chargeable amount. I didn't knew that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that happens at the beginnings sometimes, especially when we have exhausted things or the limits on our free tier accounts.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's part of, let's say, learning, right? So that's how we learn more. The more mistakes we do, the more we learn.
Yeah, although it wasn't a real card, it was kind of a virtual card. So I wasn't actually charged. It was showing in my account, but the amount wasn't detected. I had used a kind of an alias card. Since I was experimenting, I didn't know about AWS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you go to the available tab once here? Let the installation continue. So if you can just click.
It is now grayed out. Earlier they were available, but now both options are grayed out now.
That is fine. Can you go to installed again? I think let's wait for some time. This should be completed. Now it is going quite fast. This is taking some time.
Yes. I think it will take around more of 10 to 15 minutes more.
Yeah, it seems so too. I thought it will be completed sooner, but that's not going to be the case. Okay, then let's do one thing, Rohi. Let's continue this thing in the background, maybe.
Okay.
And okay, just no, hold on. Just
Just
what
in a second,
forward?
it went to 61%.
Yeah.
Just in a second. These are not symmetric.
Okay, maybe we can let this installation happen in the background, right? And then in the foreground, let's just try to discuss what, let's say I wanted to briefly discuss. And then in the background, let the installation run. So in this way, we can do both the things at the same time, right? So let this run and let me share my screen and let me continue with what
Okay.
I wanted to share so that we can go ahead with what we had planned for the day, right? And then
Sure.
yeah, and then sorry.
Can you take control of the screen? Can you start the screen
Yeah,
sharing?
just a moment.
Yeah. Okay. Now it should be.
Yeah, just a moment. Give me 1 minute. Yeah. So. Okay. Overall, as you see, we have, let's say, covered majority. We have not really covered everything related to ETL. ETL, we have not even touched even a single line of code, but we have looked into the concept. The reason why we have not touched base on the code is as simple as on market you will find, let's say, softwares to do ETL. Okay, so we really do not need. We have very less softwares where we need to write code. We have softwares which are so intelligent that they are created using, let's say, designs which we can reuse, and they have, let's say, connectors to all the databases, which makes it really easy for us to, let's say, create the ETL, right? And we have also looked into some parts of, let's say, the MySQL database, the commands and everything, right? So that's what we have done. Let's try to continue from there. And now we are going to look at a very important aspect of, let's say, data science, which is often overlooked. So maybe in these, let's say, 15 17 minutes which we have, we can look into this specific aspect. Let the installation continue in the background. I'm sure by the time we are done, the installation should be completed. So what I wanted to cover basically in the next 3 to 4 days, maybe until the end of this week, maybe a couple of days at the start of the next week as well, is the process by means of which we usually understand or we usually gather the requirements. And this is something which people often overlook because it's something which people think somebody else in the team might be doing for them, right? Or maybe this may already have been done, and the person who is asking me a question or whomsoever is giving me a task to be done, that person should have already done this background, that homework already. And what all I'm supposed to do is that I'll get the data and then I'm going to apply some, let's say, statistics on top of this. So that's what our usual expectations are, but that is seldom the case. So that's what I wanted to, let's say, discuss for the next 5 days, the next 4 days at least. So what we see or what we usually do is that we have to collect the data. We have to do a lot of activities to collect the data. And I wanted to specifically discuss on two relevant activities. One activity is where we ourselves are involved into the accumulation of the data. So I can say this is like uh, uh, understanding, or even more. So I'm going to call it, let's say, requirement gathering. Okay. So I can call this, let's say, requirement gathering as one of the aspects that we can look into, where in case of, let's say, business analytics domain, or in case of, let's say, data science, this is something which is really very common for us to do. And this is something which we really need to understand, or which we really need to do ourselves. Okay, so nobody is really going to do that for us. And for that, maybe requirement gathering can be put into bracket. And what I can say more so about this aspect is like understanding the problem and hypothesis building, right? So this is something which we often overlook because we are under the impression that maybe the practical world is also like, let's say, Kaggle, where we simply go and we download the data and we get a problem statement which is already clearly defined, and somebody has already prepared the data for me, and that I can simply take that data and do some kind of, let's say, data science. I should be able to solve my business problem. That's not really the case. So in the industry, we need to understand the problem ourselves. As a data scientist, we have to do that, and then we have to build the hypothesis around it, and then we have to do the relevant tasks, inclusive many times related to, let's say, programming as well as the data engineering part, then the statistical modeling part, then the visualization part, finally ending with the presentation part. So this entire life cycle of things has to be done by us. Now, when I say us, it is not only one person who is usually responsible for it, unless you tell me you are working in a startup company. So in case of a startup company, yes, that may well be the case. But in case of a good or medium scale company, medium or large scale companies where you will have multiple people in a data science team, right? So usually a data science team is going to consist, let's say, of people like there will be a manager who will obviously be understanding the technicalities to a good extent. I'm not saying that he or she is going to sit with you and write code. Maybe they would if you are really lucky, but this manager will be more so responsible for driving the projects, across the team. Then there will be kind of a product specialist. Okay, so a specialist will be there who, as part of your team, will really be the specialist when it comes to the products of the company. So if let's say you are working in, and this role is actually optional. Actually, all of these roles are really optional in nature, basis what kind of situation you are. So each and every company will have their own way of doing things. In your company, you will find a different way of doing. In my company, I'll find a different way of doing. Say everybody will have their own sweet way of doing things, right? But usually or ideally, so we can call this as uh, my ideal data science team is where there will be a manager and there will be a product, or I can also say a domain specialist. Okay, so there will be a person who will be knowing about the domain end to end. So that person will be aware of the business, he will have good rapport with people and so on. So he knows how the business works. Okay, if let's say I'm part of let's say these ITC company who sells classmate pens, so I should be entirely aware of the entire or the end-to-end process, how these pens are, let's say, conceived as an idea, how they are really designed from the way they are actually, let's say, manufactured, and until the time they are actually handed over or sold to the customer. So this entire life cycle is aware to these, let's say, product or domain specialist people. Then you really have senior people in the team. So I'm going to call them the senior data scientist. Okay, these are people who usually may or may not, this is an optional thing, they anytime you will find them having, let's say, PhD or master degrees, and they are really good in applied math. These are people who are core technical people. They understand the mathematics behind what is going on. And at any point in time, you give them any problem statement, obviously they'll try to formulate, or they'll try to convert, they'll try to structure that problem basis their mathematical understanding. Then that is the advantage of having a senior data scientist in your team, because that senior person always gives you the framework, the kind of let's say the backbone of that team is going to be this set of, let's say, senior people, right? So now let's say, depending on the size of the team, there can be one or more such senior people, and then you are going to have, let's say, machine learning engineers. Okay, then you are going to have software engineers. Okay, then you are going to have site reliability engineers. This is a new term, and I would just like to explain these three people. So one person is a machine learning engineer who is actually writing, who will be writing machine learning jobs. There will be software engineers, or I can also say a software, or let's say data engineers. These are people who will be writing softwares to do the data engineering part, let's say MySQL or any other big data technology, any ETL they will be developing, and so on and so forth. So these engineers will be doing the development of the entire pipeline. The machine learning engineer will be doing the development of the statistical or the learning pipelines. And then the sixth one is, let's say, site reliability, a set of site reliability engineers who will be, example given, we have used AWS, right? So there will be engineers who will be expert in cloud and DevOps and things of that sort, but they also know what is, let's say, data science and how data science is being done. And in that way, what they are going to do is that they are going to contribute these DevOps and cloud skills in the team by ensuring we have a viable product, we have a good environment, we have a running environment. The environment has all the latest and let's say all the required security features. It has all the packages and libraries which we need, and so on and so forth. Right. So this is the go-to guy when it comes to let's say deployment related solutions and so on. Now, site reliability engineering, software and data engineering, product and domain specialist and manager. These are four such fields. So point number 1, 2, 5, and 6 are actually generic fields. Okay, so these are nothing specific to a data science team. A site reliability engineer exists in a middleware team as well in my company, for example. It can exist in a BI team as well. It can exist in a data science team as well. It can exist in a product company like Flipkart as well. Assuming, and I know Flipkart is doing a lot of, let's say, data science, but let's assume Flipkart has started a month back and they don't have anything known as, let's say, data science in their company. In that case also, these 4 roles, 1, 2, 5, and 6 will be there. Okay, so these are not specific to data science, these are generic roles. And there, I mean, as of date, we almost everywhere use agile ways of working. So you may also have scrum masters. Okay, so you will have scrum masters who are going to drive this agile thing across your team. So they are going to coordinate and implement and, let's say, improve the agile related processes. You might be working in scrums or in kanbans or in XP kind of a model. Maybe you will be implementing squads and so on. So other than these, you will need a person who should also be a data architect. Now this is a very controversial role, because if you already have a senior data scientist, people always or often believe that that senior data scientist along with the product or domain specialist can or should be able to create the architect. But then, oh, Mr. Mood, Rohi, can you hear me now?
Yes, actually, it is asking for a reboot. That's why I've joined from mobile also. So
Oh, okay,
meanwhile, the other PC will be good.
okay, okay. I hope you did not miss, right? But anyways, we do have the recording. But I hope uh, you got the points, right? I mean, the one that we were saying.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, sure. So specifically, the reason why we need a data architect is because this is a person, right, who has certifications like TOGAF. TOGAF is a certification which you can find on the internet. You can read more about it if you're really interested in the software architecture design side of the life cycle. But that's really important, and you cannot share that kind of role with someone else, right? I mean, a software engineer can become a manager. I'm not saying that a software engineer cannot become a site reliability engineer. I mean, each and every one of these roles are actually uh, I mean, one person can act as another person and so on by getting the required knowledge. If you have the skills, if you have time, if you're ready to invest time on yourself, you will be able to learn all these things. So it's not like you dedicatedly need all these people. But if I had a company of my own and I had the let's say opportunity, or if I was the let's say head of the department of the data team or the analytics team or the data science team in my current company, I should have uh, actually created a data science team, which is something like this. So now, using this data science team, I need to deliver something, and that's where these life cycle important life cycle items come into picture. One of which that we have already discussed quickly earlier is the understanding of the problem and then the building of hypothesis. So we build the hypothesis, and then basis that we need to go ahead. Now, to do this, we need to understand the problem, and to understand the problem, we need some framework. If I go blind and start asking questions, which is like anything and everything, then this may not work. So that's the first thing that we need to learn. That's what we are trying to learn in the next 2 to 3 days. There will be things related to this area. Maybe I can quickly write things like, let's say, formulating a process to perform a requirement gathering, right? And then there will be processes like, let's say, design thinking. Okay, you can read about design thinking. It's a very, very strong, let's say, methodology. I will say a very interesting one per se, which helps you understand the situation, which helps you create solutions in a situation in a very, very intuitive way, in a very uh, I can say in a very different way. It's not the usual way in which you approach any problem solving problem or any problem solving situation. It's a very different way, but it's a very interesting way. But whenever we have used it, we have really got good results out of it, right? So it's really good to be used, and that helps a lot. And also on the other side, we really need to have a framework. We really need to have a framework. Let's say we need to have a framework by means of which we can structure the projects or structure the delivery, right? This will be really important more so for the manager or for the domain specialist, because these are people who will be talking to the business day in day out, right? But to have a knowledge of this framework is also equally important for all of the other roles which you see in the team. So point 3 until point 8 should also be aware of this framework that we are going to use, and a very common framework which is there in the industry, which is kind of an industry standard, which you can say is known as CRISP DM. Okay, so we have a cross reference industry standard, which is kind of a model, which is kind of a strategy, you can say, that we can use to do the data science related activities, right? So that's exactly what we are going to do in the next few sessions. We are going to continue from tomorrow. Let's get back to the installation now and quickly check how it has gone through. But these are the points that we would like to cover, not the details of this my ideal data science team. I mean, I just shared it because this is something we need to know. We need to understand the thing that here. I mean, there can be even one more role. But I have myself seen that there are cases where you have dedicated BI engineers as well, people who are expert in Tableau and let's say ClickView and let's say Power BI or let's say SAP Business Objects and so on. So there will be people like them who will be creating the visualizations, who will be doing the basic business analytics. They will be helping you create the final product in terms of a visualized outcome, which you can present in front of the management and so on. Right, so that's the ideal, let's say, data science team. Seldom you will find it in the industry. You will always, I mean, more often than not, we will find that roles are switched or roles are being done by, I mean, multiple roles are being done by a single person. That's not a problem, but that's really not the ideal case. Unfortunately, that's not the ideal case. I mean, to save resourcing cost, we can do that, right? But to optimize the resourcing cost, we sometimes do that. People out of their own interest, the managers in the team start acting as a scrum master. The data architect also works as a senior data scientist and so on. So that kind of things are doable and they are also done, but then that's not the ideal way to do. So just to end, just to roll up, so these are the topics we will be covering. The first two topics that we have written over here, we will be covering these aspects in the next 4 to 5 sessions, as much as in depth we can do, and then we can progress from there. So maybe what I'll do, I'll stop the sharing from my side, Rohi. Maybe if you can share the screen from your side and see if you are still getting that error.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so this one was the original one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me now check on install. Are you able to see the new screen? Wait,
No, not yet.
okay. Yeah, so this is the screen I have got after that.
Add. If you can
Okay.
add here. Yeah. So select products and features. Can you expand MySQL servers? Let me try and take a remote control if that's
Okay, sure.
doable.
Yeah, I have given control.
Yeah. So I will select this server option from here. Unfortunately, I'm not able to control.
Okay.
So let me remove the control. Give up the remote control. Okay, now you have the control. So maybe you can select MySQL Server 8.0 and then click on this right sign, which is on the right side. You see, and the right arrow in between. Yes, so you just have to select there. Right now, you can scroll down on the left side, select MySQL Workbench, and do the same. Then select MySQL Workbench and do the same. And then you select the next option should be MySQL Shell. Do you have Excel installed?
Yes.
Yes, so maybe you can select the MySQL Excel option as well. It's just on top. Yeah, so this is a very cool option. Sometimes it is a bit slow, but that's okay. So now you can click on next. So we have selected server, we have selected the IDE, and if
Okay.
you execute, this should work now. So now it's going to install. I am sure this should be a local installation, so should not take much time, right?
Yeah, this time we did not get any error.
Yeah, I mean, the prerequisite checks are already passed, right? So it did not even go to that stage. It just went ahead, right? I think this will continue, Rohi. I don't see there will be much of a problem here. So maybe we can call it a day.
Yeah, sure.
Let this have installed. And then what I would suggest you to do is that you can try to open this MySQL workbench and try to connect to the MySQL server. If you are not able to do that, right, if because of whatsoever reason you are not able to do that, let's continue tomorrow and we can debug that again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That would be great. Yeah.
Okay, then let's call it a day. Yeah. Thank you
Okay.
so
Yeah.
much. Thank you.
Thanks, Momit. Thanks.
Thank you.